Hey ladies, Lana is here, and today we have this exciting topic to explore together, right? And this is the return, I call it the return of the king, and awakening that empowered masculine energy that we all are deeply craving. We're craving it inside, but we are not, what I feel is going on, that we are not quite clear what exactly it is and how we translate it into our modern life, right? It can be really confusing. So I'm really excited to share this with you today. I see people are joining. Say hi. Oh, hi mama. Say hi, share your emoji, just show up and say you're here so I can see you, I can say hi, and don't hold back from asking questions, making comments, express yourself. That's how we exchange energy, and it will be more powerful for you to experience. It is experiential as well for you as much as for me. So even if you watch on the replay, by the way, you can still ask questions and share your ideas and comments. Thank you so much for your hearts. So let's explore this topic, and why is it so important for us? Because many of us, hi Jacinta, many of us are exploring this queen energy. Hi Catherine. We're exploring the queen energy, we're activating our feminine leadership, we grow in our feminine power, we become more aware of what it is and how to navigate and use it, and we get excited about it. And then at some point when we reach this place of ownership, right, owning this queen's energy, owning this archetype, owning, our creating everything on our terms and creating our own rules, this is the time when we become ready to meet the equal empowered masculine. This is very, very exciting, and I want to assure you that it always happens. As soon as you feel it, embody it, own it, and start to live it from that place, that empowered masculine, that king energy awakens. It shows up. It's just the law of the universe. So I want to encourage you and inspire you that this is how it works energetically. And if you have that desire inside of yourself to find that king, to find that, equal masculine, empowered energy that can hold your energy, you are powerful women. I attract powerful women. I attract strong women, right, in my community. So when you're there and you feel it, it means he is out there, but he is also a human being, and he went through his own, journey of conditioning, some wounding, some childhood trauma, some collective stuff that we inherit from, generations and generations of ancestors. So he also needs to work on himself and activate that and understand what this empowered masculine means today in the modern world. It can be really, really confusing. So I feel the definition of empowered masculine is very confusing even for us women. Forget about the man. So these days our roles switched. It's not about the waking up the princess by kissing her who was sleeping for hundreds of years. That's actually what's going on now. Historically and collectively, we're in a different stage and different phase of evolution, where this is the time of feminine leadership. It's the women will wake up first, and then they inspire men to wake up to the empowered masculine, and men become more aware of what empowered masculine means through a woman. This is how I feel. You can agree or disagree, but I'm just sharing my experience and my work and how I see the collective as well. So right now, the understanding of the masculine in many ways is distorted through what's going on in the world and what has been going on for thousands of years, right? The masculine became this kind of arrogant, entitled, aggressive, territorial, pushy, it's kind of there's lots of negative energy behind it, right? The way, you know, the structures created in the social and society, in the world, right? The cultures, there is lots of masculine, but it's kind of there's a lot of negativity behind it, because it's not a true empowered masculine, right? Because it's not what it meant to be. It's not that archetypal king energy that we want to discover. And when we talk about queens and kings, many people are resistant to that, because there's lots of negative connotation about that as well, about the royals, right? They are entitled and arrogant and greedy, maybe, and aggressive and territorial and conquering and all this. No, we are going really back so much to so much earlier stages of our history, something that almost completely erased from human history. And one of the examples that I have is that in ancient Egypt, right, there were times much earlier than all this pharaohs showed up, when the empowered feminine and empowered masculine were ruling together. And you can see it in the architecture, you can see in sculpture, you can see in art. They're sitting together on a throne, holding hands on the same level. So this is the balanced leadership, right? Thank you so much for your heart. They're sitting together and they know what their role is, and they're collaborating, they're co-leading, co-ruling, right? And the feminine knows their role and the masculine knows their role. Another example that came to my mind is when you watch the Avatar movie, right? It's pretty famous. Most people watch the very beautifully made visuals and all this. When he came to that tribe, there was this tribe, right, that they were studying and wanted them to move. There was the king of that tribe and the queen. And remember how they were in different roles. So the king was responsible for structure, order, right? Maybe making certain decisions about that, like physical, right? And she was like a shaman, his wife, right? She represented a spiritual connection, the intuitive, like receiving that, you know, knowledge, reading the energy. Remember, like she tried his blood. So that is also a good example of to see, like, we need in leadership, we need both, because otherwise it becomes distorted and unbalanced. That's what's going on right now. So that's what we want, the queen and the king matching in their power, ruling together, honoring each other, listening to each other, right? Counterbalancing. That's what we're looking at. It's archetypal. Now the king, why we want the king energy? Because it represents leadership and responsibility, basically, right? Somebody who is called to create a bigger impact, right? To somebody who is called to create a transformation, right? So we have a queen, that's us, right? Women, that we are stepping our power. We understand we have gifts, we have soul purpose, and it is bigger than we thought. And it's different kind of leadership than we used to, you know, when we inherit from the masculine system. Hi Diana, so nice to see you here. So the king has his own role, right? And his masculine qualities. And he is responsible more like creating structures. Thank you for your hearts. He's creating the structures for the feminine energy, because feminine energy is moving, it's liquid, it's flowing, it's non-linear, it's intuitive. So she needs the containers, the structures, the systems that can hold that energy, new energy, right? Beautiful, benevolent, heart-centered energy. So the king is the one who creates the external structures, physical structures, stability, order, right? How things work in the physical world. Also on an archetypal level, empowered feminine represents two fundamental qualities. They're just so important, and it will really show you how we can activate them. And that's something that we really need in our life as queens. And that is like a provide and protect role, right? This is just so old and so universal. Like Empowered masculine has to play that role no matter what shape and form it takes. You know, in different societies, maybe in old times it was literal, you know, protection, like protect from physical danger, you know, from invading enemies, you know, wild animals, whatever, and providing, maybe like providing food, right? Then it was more like providing financially, right? Protecting on more emotional or psychological level. Like these days it became more subtle because women became pretty powerful. We can take care of ourselves. We can, you know, make money. We can have businesses. We can support ourselves. We can create, especially as queens, right? We learned from childhood, and we can't rewrite that. We learned to take care of ourselves if we are strong women, you know. Like we know how to do it. We can survive without men, right? But in the modern times, this quality, provide and protect, is still very, very important on more subtle energetic level. You still, even if you're powerful, you still want to be in partnership with somebody who can, you know, cover your back, have your back. Whenever, you know, there are some hard times, there are some fun times, there are some challenges in life, especially when we go through pregnancy and then we give birth to our children. This is the vulnerable time when we want that empowered masculine on our side, right? And somebody who energetically provides and protects. You know, what if something happens? He's there, he's stable, he's powerful, we trust, you know, he's there for us. And he has all the skills and capacity to provide and protect, right? So we just want to have that experience. So it is internal experience that you feel it, and you can relax and be in your feminine, because the feminine thrives, the feminine power, and the feminine grows when she is open. When she is open and when she is relaxed. This is when you can receive the guidance and activate your intuition and trust your intuition, right? Because you have that feeling also of provide and protect in this physical reality. So you can keep creating, keep bringing it forward without fear or holding back or trying to do everything on your own. This is when you can be balanced from outside, right? Now, that can only happen because of all this mess that was created before we came into this life, right? We're already born into a system that is not balanced, that is, you know, distorted masculine and like disempowered feminine, and feminine try to get their rights, and we're already born into this, right? So we do need to, energetically, we need to do our inner work to prepare ourselves to be in our queenhood on our own first, because right now it's like a cycle. Like we're all disempowered, we're all conditioned with something, right? So we do need to do all this work that I created the Queenhood program. Like I work with women on activating that energy on their own first, and owning that and living from that place. And this is with the time when you really own and feel it, and it's like internal transformation. It's a transformation in your body. Your body starts to get new experience, and you start to trust that new experience, something that maybe you haven't had before. This is how we create something new, right? And at this point, when you, at this level, this is when you're gonna attract somebody who can become your king. And it is a little bit, you know, counterintuitive, because what our fairy tales tell us, that it's the king or it's a man who wakes up the woman. No, it's a woman who wakes up a man. And even if you maybe have somebody that you have, you know, soulmate connection, or you're in love and relationship, there might be some seeds that can be open up and grow from that, inside of that person. There needs to be some triggering event happening that shakes them up and awakens them to who they are, and their own empowered masculine, and understanding of this empowered masculinity, understanding of that Queen archetype through experience. So the man learned through experience. You can't directly tell him, like, okay, even if you have that guy that you feel, yes, he's not there yet, but I feel that potential. I feel, you know, like you can directly tell them, you know, be king, you know, why you like, you can demand that. Also, you can beg it, you know, it's like, oh, please, I need your protection. Like, that is disempowered feminine. Like, the queen has, her leadership is indirect. She knows that men learn through experience. They're not very verbal. They will not, what you say will not land in their minds, in their body. They learn through experience, and how you can create the experience for them to wake up to their own king energy is to be a queen around them. Even if you're not in, like, completely committed in traditional relationship, or maybe it's even better because then you don't have all these patterns of what you should do or shouldn't. If you are like in a place of more open exploration in the relationship, like figuring out that relationship, that's a great place for you to show up as a queen and own that queenhood, you know, and talk from the place of queen and share your wisdom and see how it lands and how you connect, and let him be drawn to you. Let him be curious and, you know, wanting more of that. And then after a certain time of this interaction, communication, like just being around you, he will remember his roots as a king, right? This is what I'm going to share you a story with you, that it happened with one of my clients, which was like extremely exciting for me as well, because we're all, like, I'm a pioneer in this area, right? Like, I know this archetype is being activated in the society, and other coaches work with that, but I have my own way to work with it, right? So I feel like a pioneer is like, I'm exploring my queenhood. Now I created a program to help other women to activate their queenhood, right? And then what's this the point when the king shows up? That's kind of exciting, right? So this is the time when I got inspired to share this training with you, because there were multiple situations when the king energy shows up in my relationship, and women I work with relationship. Like I have this client who, when we started to work together, she was with this kind of shaky relationship with this man who didn't want to commit. It's kind of on and off, but they had this really strong connection at the same time. So she had a really hard time to say no to that. But it was not something that she was looking for at the time, and she was not. She had to end that relationship, so to say no to that, and just do her own work and be single and focus on herself and kind of interrupt that connection. So they separated, and she has done a lot of work, so she was very committed. So she called me recently, and she said, well, that guy like a few days ago, he called me, and he told her that he had a dream when he was a king. Can you imagine that? That blew my mind. Like, I don't hide that. That was like, I didn't expect anything like that to happen. Like, he had a dream that he was this king in these old times, and when he woke up, the first thought he had about her, right? And then so she called me. It's like, how is that even possible? So it doesn't need even to be that you have to be around that man. And when you are connected with somebody on soul level, you already have that soul agreement. Like, we all have this spirituality, understanding there are those people who are soul mates and soul tribe. So he got activated because she's like quantum physics, quantum entanglement, right? If you connected to that soul, if you do your work, it will affect them, even if you don't see them and don't talk to them this time. This is how it works. It is amazing. It is different from what we learned in our childhood and how logic works. This is the energy, right? And this is miraculous, and this is the feminine. We are responsible for this energy activation, and this is how it happens, right? So the king woke up, and then they got back into interaction, but because we worked together, I told her, well, don't try to put it in any kind of box. Don't try to like allow this energy to explore. So how do you communicate? Just stay kind of more on the friend side, but you know, share all this insight about the feminine and what you do and like how you explore it and like what you see, whatever you receive about feminine and the masculine, you know, energies, you can share with him and share how you feel, you know. But don't go into traditional relationship and like whatever, you know, don't put yourself in the old boxes. Basically, you will create something better than that for yourself, for him and you, to find your own model of relating to each other. And it's different, right, than just like everybody else living. So the king and the queen, they can be creative of how they want to create their kingdom and queendom, right? How do they want their life to be? They create their own rules. They create everything on their terms. So what is exciting that I see now that they're working on that together. They're not putting any limitations. They're not putting themselves in the boxes. The queen knows who she is. She knows what she deserves, and she, while talking to him, she's exploring her deepest desires as well, and he is reflecting back to her. And what is beautiful that we find in this space, that the king and the man, empowered man, he always wants to serve his queen. Isn't it beautiful? Because this is how it's designed by, you know, it's a divine design. A man finds meaning and purpose when he's in a relationship with his queen, with his soulmate woman, right? Empowered feminine. Because she's the muse, she's his connection to the divine. You know, she is mysterious, she's miraculous, she works with energy, she manifests, she's not linear, she doesn't need to work hard to achieve something, she creates, right, with her energy. And that is miraculous, and that is beautiful, and that is mysterious for a man, because he plays more practical role. He plays more like physical, right? The rock, like water and the rock, right? In a relationship, he creates the containers to hold her. She provides safety, like she feels safe. She feels safe with him. This is the next level of evolution of empowered feminine, right? That we might not be able to achieve on our own, but it's happens inevitable because of what we do, our work, and because this is the divine design. This is how it's meant to be, right? So that is very inspiring. Another thing I wanted to share is, I had some notes, but I already shared most of it. Now, what I see around these days, that many men choose, because of the confusion of the modern times, what is empowered feminine or masculine, you know, well, all these women are so strong, so should I be, you know, like an old style gentleman, or should I be like more like genderless, like we're all the same, no difference between gender? That actually erases the charge between us, like what's going on, like no difference between men and women. It's like all looks the same, it's almost we can switch. No, that's not serving us, that's not satisfying for women or men, right? This merging kind of thing is like flat, like casual sex, like that's not good for us either. So we need to find that empowered feminine and masculine and understand the difference and have clarity about it. So what happens that many modern men are playing the jester archetype, and very nice guys actually. Not, there is, you know, some population of males that represent old, distorted, kind of negative masculine energy, arrogant, entitled, aggressive, territorial, you know, kind of dominating, you know, that kind of energy, right? We don't want that, because it's not really empowered masculine. Empowered masculine is also benevolent. It's encouragement, it's holding, right? Holding that space, creating the structures and container, protecting your queen, providing for her external resources. He's responsible for external, right? External protection, physical. And she's more like spiritual, emotional, water energy, right? So what happens that many men, nice men, in jester archetype. Jester archetype has no responsibility. It's more like, you know, playing fool, right? And it's really safe place to be, because nobody takes you serious. You don't have You're not responsible for big things, and whatever you say is not important, right? And many powerful women tend to attract those because first, they're nice guys, right? They're kind, they're loving, they can love us, right? The jester can love the queen, but they're not a good match for us. As soon as we start build the relationship with them, we feel kind of like betrayed by the divine plan. It's like, well, it doesn't match. Like I always overpower him. I always dominate, and he's intimidated with my power, and I'm too much for him. Like that kind of thing happened. Too much and not enough. And that's because of this jester archetype represents the disempowered masculine in the modern world. Lost masculine, confused, like, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm just kind of gonna play fool here, trying to entertain the queen. So that is not satisfying for both sides. So this is when actually I have a male clients, and I'm working on business, when we worked on that king archetype, because even when you start your business, it means you are stepping in leadership position, right? You have responsibility. You have 100% responsibility for you in your business. So we worked on that king archetype, and he said like, wow, I just realizing I barely used it, and I just realized the power of it, and actually I like it. So he started to use it more, and of course it translates in all areas of your life right away, not just, you know, in our life we live it all at the same time. It's not like compartmentalized like when we talk about these things. So when men want that, they want to discover their power, they want to find their king inside of them and be able to step into that king energy, right? And have that equal, they want to be in equal relationship with this woman. They don't want to be overpowered either, but they just don't know how, and they don't understand what's going on. So by being in that queenhood, if you find that person, right, that your soulmate that is meant to be with you, and you maybe feel that potential, but he might still play that jester archetype because of this confusion and ignorance of the modern world. It's us who can activate the king. So don't, here what can I suggest, not to jump into relationship right away, full on traditional, and put everything like it should be, like everybody else does. Explore the connection, and you know, show up as a queen and welcome that king out of him. The king is there, you know, he just needs to, there has to be some trigger experience that will wake up the king, right? And we have to allow and create the space in our relationship for the king to show up. That means we don't play the role of provide or protect on energetic level. We have to allow him to provide something, and we have to allow him to protect us from something so he can play that role. And how beautiful is that? Because when he's protecting, it means he creates safety for you to be the woman and not to freak out all the time about being responsible for everything, right? Whatever it translates in your life, like if he provides more money, fine. Maybe you focus on creating your feminine business or more feminine career, you know, write a book or like be a dancer or whatever, right? If you don't care about that, you can make your own money, then maybe it's protecting you of all kind of external situations that you don't want to deal with. He can take that role and do that for you. You know, give him something that he can use that role and play that role for you. He can't wait. Subconsciously, deep inside, instinctively, he's looking for that opportunity. And then provide, it means he provides you with some resources. He wants to give. It's about giving. Remember in my training, receive him, right? The woman is a receiver in a relationship with man. It's the fundamental design as well. This is how it is, universal, right? Because we receive the sperm to create life, then we give back, right? But first, in relationship with man, we receive from a man. So we need to be able to receive, right? And that's where he's giving us, he's providing us with something, whatever it is, you know, it doesn't need to be anything specific, right? But it has to be there. So allowing that. And knowing, let me see what, okay. By the way, if you have questions or comments, you're welcome to share, because I'm all in this energy. I absolutely love this topic. And what I want to say, so there's some qualities of the king and the empowered masculine. Like, you will already have that archetype when a man proposes to a woman. He's on one knee talking to her, like she's up there. This is the energy. This is not by accident. This is the energy that he admires your ability to connect with your intuition, to receive this divine insights, you know, to see the invisible, to create those miracles, you know, manifestation, you know, like, he admires that, and it is mystery for him, and this mystery will never disappear. It will always be, because this is different roles. You have something that he doesn't have, and he wants to serve that. This is the sign of, like, I'm ready to serve you, my queen, right? And it's like being a king, and it's not a jester, right? It's not somebody who's just rolling around like a dog who entertains you, like, which can be funny, but you can have that friend or something. He's admiring you, but he is also in his king energy, grounded, connected to earth, right? Also, what the queen does in this relationship later on, she shows her king of how to remember this benevolent, beautiful, heart-centered king who wants to serve life with her. So she guides him, because there's so much generations, thousands of years of this evil, you know, greedy, aggressive, bloody, violent kings, right? So she, the modern queen, she reminds him, you know, what's the why behind our leadership. We want to serve life, we want to create peace, we want to help people, we want to assist evolution, right? We want our children to be happy. So that's, she encouraged him to connect with his heart and feel it in his heart, feel love. He learns more about love through her, through loving her, honoring her, listening to her, and trusting her intuition, not questioning. On this level of relationship, he will never question your intuition, and because you don't provide him logical explanation. On this level of relationship, he will trust you, he will honor you, and he will adore, and he will listen, right? He will listen to that. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. Another piece that I didn't mention is to be able to create this partnership. You have to stay more open and not to put so much of shoulds of how relationships should be. It is exploration, especially at the beginning. You're awakening that king. He's learning how to connect with the queen. It is a little bit, you know, it's exciting and scary at the same time, right? You can't put yourself right away in any boxes. So the more open and the more free kind of container you can create, it's still very beautiful, and it doesn't mean it's not exclusive relationship. It can be exclusive relationship, but don't try to put it in the shoulds, what it should be, or expect something that other men do and should, like explore, find your desires. Your king will help you to tap into deeper desires of the queen, because maybe something that you didn't believe was possible, he shows up and say, I want to explore it with you. I want to discover this with you. I want to give this experience to you, because he's giving. You will start feel more connected to your desires as well, and allow yourself to receive them. And it is a journey together, right? So, and sometimes you need to step back, because the new made king, he might make some mistakes. We make some mistakes. We can't be perfect. It's exploration already includes certain human error, right? And that's totally fine. It's good to look at it and use them as lessons. Sometimes you need to step back when you feel like your boundaries are being challenged, or you don't like what he did or said. Instead of blaming or complaining or like crying, like going into drama, it's good just to step back and say, hey, no, I'm not sure about this one. Like, I need some space to process. I need some, like, that is the dance. And then step forward when you like something, and always encourage him to, like, when he did something that you really enjoyed and loved, tell him, like, I love that. And I want more of that, because he needs to hear that. And oh, you love that? I will give you so much more of that. He needs that for positive feedback and encouragement, right? And he needs also to see, oh, she's stepping back, then something is off between us. So what is it? And he will come and ask you, right? So that's this dance that we need to allow. And it's not hard. It's just different from what we learned about relationships. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. You have any questions? You can also type them in after this training. I always come back to you. You can reach out to me personally if you're interested in Queenhood program that I created for women, that makes these kind of miracles real, and makes all these dreams come true that we didn't believe it was possible before. So you're welcome to reach out if you're curious, and share your experience too. Make sure you use this group for your own growth, not just like, somebody posted something. Like, I see some women are very active, and it can be helpful for you to grow, even if you're just showing up in this group, and I'm here for you. So thank you everybody who was here with me today, and I will talk to you next time. Have a great weekend.